is mine, all mine. I love mine. Nothing in the world belongs to me but my love. Mine, all mine, all mine.
Really quick. This is a 01, I guess that's how you say it. 01 Prismacolor fine line marker. I don't really have a big preference except that it does need to be thin. This is black. I also have brown and blue. And yeah, it just kind of depends on what I want to use that day. It doesn't really show up that much in the painting. The chalk kind of obscures some of these lines, and then I have to go back in and draw them. So, but it's important to, like, I might probably switch to blue on this one when I come back through on the lines, because I think the scene's gonna be blue, purple, orange, like a night scene. I don't know. I tried bringing in the greens in my mock-up, and I think I might have to actually form it on my own, because no amount of AI can understand the like that green and yellow don't have to look like a apocalyptic, like, end of world scene, like a radioactive blast fume zone, that it can just look like a nice calm swamp. So probably that's gonna have to be my imagination. I'm pressing down pretty hard because I'm kind of tired, so if I press less hard, it might like shake the line. Hopefully this looks cool as a time lapse. Doop, doop. There's barely any sound to the pen on paper, but I think once I have my mic set up, I might actually get some of that. So that would be really awesome for ASMR stuff. Generally, the pen phase, I don't know, it's pretty precise. It's not where I want it to be in the long run. I don't know if I need to have the pen. I started doing it because I didn't know how or if I'd be able to color these in a way that was manageable at this small scale. I mean, I knew I could do it, but I wanted to figure out how to color them without it taking weeks and weeks, which it would if I just use watercolor, because, well, watercolor's a fun but not supernatural medium for me. And there'd be a lot of going over and painting over, and I just am in the phase in my artistry, you could say, where I want to choose the medium that works with me instead of me working against it or it against me, such that I can accomplish my goal in the quickest and easiest way possible. So that's why I was so excited to find these small Sennelier chalks, because chalk is my preferred medium. It's quickest and most intuitive for me. So when I found the small pencil chalks, like I've used pencil chalks before and they were too not pointed enough, not specific. I don't know, they just didn't work, the brand that I had. They were more like crayons, and that presented sort of a whole new challenge. But these are hard enough that they really, I don't know, they act sort of like a perfect in-between to like a colored pencil is what I meant, not crayon. A colored pencil and like super soft charcoal. I don't know, there's a lot of ways to accomplish it. This is just the first way I've tried, which is like a combination watercolor and chalk. My ideal situation is that each of these phases takes just one day, which is doable with a little more practice, I think, in like the filming, but also coloring and getting the model mock-ups how I want them. And I think eventually, well, I know that eventually I'll have enough practice in coloring them that I won't really need the mock-ups. I'll just need maybe a color palette or an idea of a scene. But right now I need them to kind of be almost painted out for me so I can, to a point, use the reference colors. I'm a little distracted, so I wanted to just notice and see if I could bring my thoughts back into this practice. If I get too distracted, it might mess with my composition, because I still have to be aware of what I wanted when I did the pencil. Just because it's already drawn doesn't mean it's like a perfect line at that moment. Little falcon familiar here. It's pretty cute. Oh, see, didn't really need that line at the top, but let's see if we can make it happen. I might have to redraw that anyway because I'll need to color this area as the background sky, or paint it at least. So some of this will be covered up. It's pretty good. I wanted it to seem like they were walking down for sure, so just make sure these, sorry, I think you can't see that, see the shadow. Make sure the steps were really defined. We're gonna leave this till tomorrow morning, and so that this shadow isn't blocking the whole view for you all. Okay, let's just leave that for now. Hey, just continuing the pin drawing. We're about closed up. I'm gonna try a different angle today, like an overhead, and I can actually see it while I draw, so the light's a little off. Maybe this is better. I'm telling you, getting the lighting on these things, not easy. I did have my mics charged, but I didn't have the piece charged that connects it to the phone. So I do have to wait on those. I'm really curious to see if the pen on paper will make any noise with the mics. It kind of makes noise, but I don't know if that's just because I can actually feel the texture as well, if I'm imagining the noise, sort of. If you hear a lot of banging, that's because there's a tropical depression in New Orleans at the moment, which means it's really windy and kind of sprayy. A lot of trash cans and things are kind of banging around, so just keeping an eye on stuff as it happens. I was not in New Orleans for Katrina, so I don't have the necessary fear, probably, that I should. But I have lived here for almost 15 years on and off. And I have done some evacuations, which were in college, and you know, we didn't think too much about it then. We didn't really have to, for better or worse. Getting a little smudge here. I think that's because my arm is sweating on the paper. Try to minimize that. When I don't want my arm or hand touching the side of the paper, what I usually do is just put another piece of paper down. Ooh, I'm shaky today. My lines are not tight. But I really want to finish this because, well, I like finishing things, but also I'm excited to do the color on this one next because I think it's going to be a cool green yellow mix, like I said in the last video. Or a complete night scene with like a strong moonlight reflection on the lake. Some days it's harder than others for precision. Luckily, I don't have to be too precise with my pen because, well, a lot of it will get eaten up by the chalk when I put the chalk down. Do our little tall ship here. stairs. Make sure they don't get lost in the chaos. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you like downloads, like wallpapers and files that you can use to print on D&D cards, looking at you, Ian. I don't know anyone else. You might want to do that, but hopefully there are some people. But you could use it for a small print as well, like to print a card or just to have as an archive. Anyway, I just put all of my downloads for Moonwalk, which is the first one I have videoed and put online. Not the first in the series, I think it's like number 9, but it's my favorite one, so I wanted to work on it first. I just dropped all those downloads onto my Patreon, which you can get for as little as $6 a month. Or $25 if you're feeling spicy. But all of the patrons get the downloads at $6, so you should check it out. Patreon at Avery Chess. Same handle everywhere. Okay, that was quicker than I expected, which is cool. Just do the house here, and then we'll have the pen drawing all finished so that I can start struggling, being challenged by the choice of colors. Okay, sweet. Do this a little more here. Tight, looks awesome. Do the whole thing in pen. All right, cool. See y'all at the next video. Looking forward to it. Bye now. Today we're doing the color on the drawing that we were working on last week. It's this one. You'll see in a second. Oh no. We're lost. We're found. Yes. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're just gonna try it. We're just gonna color it and hope it doesn't turn out like an apocalyptic nuclear wasteland. Okay. All right, y'all. We got a straight overhead angle today. Let's see how it works. I'm gonna talk a lot less through this one because I really want to focus on it. Which means some of this video might be silent, but you'll still see the color choices, and I'll make sure to hold them up like this. Cool. Let's get started. So this, for white, like variations, I have these, which are, let's see, white, like periwinkle white. This one's, what the fuck is this? White, I think. I've got pale yellow, I've got pale blue, but it's kind of dark. I've got pink. This fat is super pale yellow, but alas. So I'm gonna hit this with the white, see if it'll blend it into a lighter yellow, because right now it's way too pastel toned for me. Even though I use pastels, I don't need it to look like a Catholic Easter bunny party. Okay, that's fine. I don't love that blended with the pen to make a gray, but I think once everything's all together, it won't seem so stark to the white of the page. I've been wondering if I not should, but just scale these up into 22 by 30 like I do for my landscapes, like traditional landscapes. And I think it's possible. I think it would be in some ways easier, except I don't know, there's some kind of mental block I'm having between like, oh, that's a traditional landscape, and oh, this is a fantasy landscape. So I'm gonna have to work through that by just doing it and seeing how it works out. And that's another cool thing I love about making art, is that a lot of your mental blocks can be worked through by just seeing if you can do it. And if you can't, you continue until you can. Which is basic premise of basically all life, but art's great for it because in my experience, me personally, I usually can get through to the thing that I want to be making, even if it takes a lot of years to get to that place. Oh, this pen is being really fadey or mixy with my chalk today. Weird. Okay, this is more the color that I wanted, though, even probably lighter, but I think that's as light as we're gonna get without it getting too muddled. So I think next we're gonna come in with the blues. Let's go blue, blue, blue. Probably dark green. Orange and yellow on standby. Yeah. And now, so that I don't make this super smudgy, gonna start on the left side and try to work to the right. It probably won't work because it's just not my natural inclination. Like, my inclination is to go sky to foreground. Maybe the light blue first. Let's get light, and yellow can come in from the top here. I want this to be yellow and blue. I don't want them to get too muddled, but be more of a blend, like an actual cloud might be. House is gonna be light yellow. Got sort of a sunset situation going on here. So this is gonna be, y'all, reading Ship of Magic right now, it's getting crazy. One of the characters just lost their leg to the sea dragon. I won't say who, but y'all know if you do. Wild. Morgan Hobb's such a genius. She's a fucking masterful writer. Can't get enough of her. Okay, this orange is really sherbety to me, and I don't love it, but options limited at the moment. So we're just pretending like this bottom part is the cloud of itself here. So it needs shape and depth. Whoa, maybe this one's better because it's, oh. Okra. Actually, I don't think that's okra. Yeah, okra. Okay. It's gold. It's got a gold feeling on it. Very mystical. Okay. I hope y'all can hear the paper ASMR, but I haven't got my mic to work, so we're still out here micless. Don't hate that. Don't hate that. It's a little dark. I like that it's not too orange though. I think orange is kind of distracting. Let's see if we could get the orange like very low in the landscape here. Like low by the clouds. Okay. And this parts, I really wish they would just magically blend together, but, well, oh, I got this for up here. This is a great color. This is perfect color. This is like a peach beige. This is a lifesaver here. It's really bright. I'm trying not to make them so bright. Like, it's not bad, of course, but I don't know. I like my art to have sort of subtlety to it, if I can. Okay, this is cool. This is not working left from right. As you can see, I have already, literally within 10 seconds of saying what I was gonna do, I've abandoned that notion for what feels the easiest to accomplish. And that is often a great life lesson I learned from art, and have not, as of yet, been able to fully put into life. So right now I'm just mixing these because I want some of the clouds to feel like empty paper white. That's the brightest white we're gonna get. So this could stay white, maybe. I do like this, what's happening here though. So let's come in with the gold again. See, I'm already gonna start smudging with my hand, so gotta do something about that. Paper. Okay. Wow. It's a nice little paper scrap I was gonna use for cards, but just use it for this instead. Okay. So we're coming back in here. I want the bright yellowness of the house to stand out eventually when we get to that color. This is my favorite part about chalk pastel pencils. They just go into the little, corners so much easier than colored pencil. Oh, just gorgeous. Just perfect. Just perfect. These are shadows of the cloud shape, so it's okay if they get shadowed chalk. Just don't want it to get too crazy up here. Mixing this, I don't know, I wouldn't be too careful. You're gonna have to put the green in too, so it's bound to get a little weird. I could come back over with the yellow, which makes it nice and creamy. orange needs the orange. Is it this orange? Okay, cool. So we're coming in with the orange on this side. And there. Yeah, that's great because this is seeming like, okay, the sun is literally setting behind the house and not too far out here beyond it, excuse me. So we'll just keep this pretty simple. Actually, don't even think I'll go in there with the yellow because I want it to stay bright and I can always come back. So now we have our first lower cloud. I'm gonna come in with the white up here. Actually, let's try just a smudge because a smudge can leave it brighter than if you come in with the white chalk. And that's nice, that's nice. It's spacious. Spaciousness is the goal. These clouds are gonna be blue, but they need to fade down. So the fade on them is gonna be kind of counterintuitive, I suppose. A little bit reverse. Darker, I have to think about this. Darker clouds will be up here in the corner, as if they're being literally lit by the sunset. It needs to shade more. It's a good start. I like it. Looks nice on the camera. So I'm gonna try a tiny bit of blue. This is my ultimate blue color. It's like the dark midnight blue. Even this alone might be too dark. Okay, see, that's not what I want. I'm gonna come in with the eraser. See if I can make it happen. Love that. Great. So it needs to be more like this color, maybe? The periwinkle. Yeah, and yes, you can erase chalk. It's awesome. It's not perfect. Like, it'll leave some of the color, but if that's your goal, then go for it. So now we want this to really, this is gonna bleed into the dark blue, this one. So we're just gonna make our, sort of like set ourselves up for victory here. This one's blue, also blue. And here they're gonna have to combine, which should be nice and beautiful. Okay. Oh, it's lovely. It's looking great. I like it already. This one also blue. This will fade in. So if this one stays light and white, this one can be dark. Fade down. This one can fade up. This can be dark. This one light. I'm just arbitrarily deciding. It's not really based on anything. Since it's fantasy, it doesn't really need to be like the perfect logical shadow to light, but this will probably be light to dark that way. So this one dark. Mostly all dark, and then these can be variations on dark. Cool. That's awesome. Let's do the yellow on the house. This one need to change. Sometimes just working on a slightly different thing can clear your mind for what you have. Like if it gets wearisome, just jump to a different part. Do that easier thing. Kind of like trick your mind into doing the harder thing. Good life lessons from that. I do want to keep this pretty bright. This one's bright. This stuff's gonna be green, but dark green. Let's try, ooh, what's this? Ah, no, that's giving Cancun. Ooh. This is a little too bright for me, but let's just keep, let's see what it looks like here. These are gonna be mystical, cliffy, grassy knolls. Okay, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. Shape on it. Ooh. Let's bring in the peach. Oh, I love this color. This is such a good one for mixing. It's not gray, it's like purple gray. So pretty. Sure, I want the warm peach down here. Maybe just do with the green. Try this green. What's this? What are these? What are these? What's all this? Here. Too black. Oh. Don't use black if you can help it. Sucks the white. That one's green, I think. I am gonna come back through and mix this with the blue. So I don't need to do too much green. I do want it to be, I don't know, a little more like, it could be a swamp. It could use your imagination. Like, it's cliffy, but they could be swampy swells. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, I like what we have going on down here. It's too light, but I think once I come in with the blue, it'll sort of sort itself out. And that's nice. That's a nice start. I think it's good. We'll put up like, we set ourselves up. We have our point of sun, our moon. I might go back and erase some of the moon, I don't know, or I might make it one of those like big bright yellow moons, but it needs to be really bright. And sometimes the chalk can take away the paper brightness. So if I erased it now or after everything's down, that could look cool, at least even in the middle. Not gonna touch the water yet. I think that's for later. Let's try out some of this. Ooh, oh God, I thought I used the black. Jesus, terrible. Now, in my ideal world, oh, what's this? These look to be identical. My ideal world, this color would be a little more earthy toned and a little more purple. So we're gonna go back over it. These are brown, I think. Let's see. Another black, Jesus. Oh, this could be cool. This could be cool. So we could try going up. That one's a warm purple though, and I kind of want a cool tone purple, but this one is very saturated and bright. I don't think so. It's a bright purple, like very colored. So I don't know if that's what I want to mix. Sometimes when I use that purple, it comes out looking like really sherbety, like I said, with that, like these two. You know the sherbets I'm talking about. Well, this is a little tricky because I want the blue to be pretty precise. Like the night sky and the sunset are existing at the same time as they do in that brief couple minutes. And in this mystical world, the moon is rising in the same direction, but you know what? This is why it's a fantasy world. So we're just gonna come in here. I don't even really know if I want this cloud to be this precise, but just for now. Pardon me. Gotta get the vertical content. Alright, and then maybe, let's see, maybe this. Okay, okay, okay. This is a gray purple that I love. This is probably my favorite color of the batch. It's gonna lighten up the blue, but I can always go in and make the blue darker. Right now I'm just thinking like it's taking too long, and that's a thought that I have for myself, because in a big chalk like this would be super quick and not furtive, but a strong, quick action for this guy. But because these clouds are particularly detailed, I suppose, I'm not sure what it makes it a bit more like a color by numbers. I'm not sure if that's where I want this to go. I'm just experimenting. It's kind of a new style for me. See this kind of stuff right here, this is just aggravating. Like, it's just part of the process when you draw a thing and then go in and color it instead of just drawing and coloring it at the same time like I do with my chalks. That like cuts out a lot of the process time. And you might be thinking, oh, Avery, it doesn't matter. Your art can take as long as you want. Okay. Yes. That's a true statement. It's also a true statement that I need lots of new art to publish. And I like to live my life and do other things. And even if working on art all day is really fun, I have a lot of other admin stuff to do that can get in the way of that being a realistic goal. So this one's very detailed, but I think it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna stop there and just see. Yeah, we got a nice guy coming in. That's gorgeous. I love that. I think we'll do, yeah, this one dark, this one dark up here. These can fade. Awesome. All right, see you next time. Bye, y'all. Hi, I'm Avery, and today we're doing more color on the piece we've been working on, part 5, and hopefully we're gonna get finished today. We'll see. We're using chalk pastel crayons, and it's a fantasy landscape. So let's get started. Last video, we were making some parts of this dark and some light, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this section behind the moon being dark, right here. Just check this out, see if it's too angled. Seems okay. It's a bit of a weird angle. It's kind of like angled toward me or something. Anyway, let's just do this. I'm on a tiny table today because I'm in a different place, staying with my parents for a bit, just visiting. And there's no desk in here. So this table might actually, as long as it isn't shaking the camera at the same time. Oh, it is, okay. Sorry, let's just fix this away from that. Hey. It's probably better. Okay. Okay, that's better. So I'm coming in here with this part. Oh, this table moving is not ideal for the video. It's okay, we're just gonna move forward. I got my colors here though, which is cool. You can probably see the colors better. Using a lot of this like periwinkle blue in this one. And try to mix it with this instead of mixing it by hand. Oh my gosh, this table is not the one. This is maybe good practice, not pushing down too hard on the table, but I tend to go with a hard press, especially with the pencils, because they're actually naturally pretty hard chalk, and instead of like a soft chalk pastel is usually a lot softer material than the pencil ones. So it makes me feel like I have to press down harder, but it's probably not 100% true. Okay, that's decent. I want it to be more purple though, so let's see if we can come in here with the purple. It's okay. It's not showing. Yeah, I like it. Now it's maybe getting a little too light. So come in, see what it looks like with yellow. Now, naturally yellow and blue makes green, but since this is more of a cover, I think it'll come out, instead of a mix, I think it'll come out more as its own color instead of a new color. And that's nice, I like that. Let's see up here. Okay. It's not bad, it's not bad. Something missing in the texture here. Maybe this got too soft. So just come in and give it a little roughness with the pencil. I forgot about the smudge, so I need to get my smudge paper to put my hand on, but for now, let's just continue this. So that's great. That's nice. I like that the dark is coming from behind the moon. It's, I want it to be a little lighter up at the top, like this way. So let's do that. That's nice. Okay, cool. And now I want, I have to remember what I said about the clouds from before, whether it was gonna be dark to light. Let's see, what would it be? I saw a lot of beautiful clouds last week, and I was trying to commit them to my memory for this exact purpose. And a lot of the clouds I remember studying had a ring of light right behind them, as if they were being lit up from behind, which is true. They would be being lit up from behind, whether it would be the sun or the moon. In this case, potentially one or the other or both. So let's try a subtle, I'm not going in too hard with this pencil right now because I don't want it to be too dark, because I'm not sure yet whether this needs to be dark or light. So this might actually need to be a medium type of blue, not like in between a dark and a light. I'm just need to grab my paper so I don't smudge this. This is not the one I wanted, but here's an envelope. All right, so this gives us a little more idea of what we need this to look like. That's okay. To me, I'm immediately like, okay, well, this isn't what I want it to look like right now, but it does give me an idea of where I can go, where I can work through and from, and how I can get it to a place that, well, is realistic. But still has a feeling of, this is a fantasy world, and in that sense, it's a little different. So just come in here, follow these lines. I don't have my mics set up today, so if the sound is less good than the last video, that's my apologies. Sometimes it's more important in my practice to make sure to get some amount of art done over whether it's a perfect setup. And I think that's a good model to hold as an artist. Sometimes the setup is not going to be perfect, like this table. And there's definitely downfalls. And I could make sure it was perfect and potentially lose some time on actually making the art. And art is not about perfection. Videography is maybe a little bit more about perfection, but I'm trying to keep the focus on making the art and not making everything be about getting a perfect video. That being said, I do appreciate notes and feedback from you all. So if you can't hear well or would like to hear something in more detail, or just any kind of feedback of what you all want to see, or don't see, don't want to see or hear about while I draw and paint, I would really like to hear that in the comments. So please feel free to put down anything in the comments that you feel like would make these videos better overall, and just better for you. What do you like to draw to? Do you like drawing videos that have music overlaid? Do you prefer just the pencil and chalk ASMR? So let me know what floats your art boat. So I'm just coming down here because I'm feeling it out right now. I'm trying not to use my AI mockup for this right now because I'm just personally a little frustrated at the state of the world with AI. And even though it is super helpful for me, I just feel a grievance with it in general, but also today. It's like an extra particular grievance. And I do envy some people who feel like they don't need to use it, because in a lot of ways I do feel like I need to use it for like my own organization and peace of mind. It's super helpful for me. And so in that way, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Kind of like a crutch or a small addiction might be. Okay, we're getting a little dark, so I'm just gonna switch over now to bright and see if we can blend and see what that blend might reveal to the ultimate goal. So sorry about this table. This is gonna have to change to some other table that I don't have in the next 24 hours. This is great. I really like the freedom, the cleanness of the blank paper here, and so I want to be super cognizant of leaving other parts of the paper blank, so I'm not going to go into all of this tonight, but I will go here to blend. Immediately feeling like this is too sky blue and I want it to be more of a purple blue. So I'm gonna have to come back in and hit this with purple. But that's fine, because that's what we're doing. Figuring out what we want with the colors. Okay, it's very pastel at the moment. In tone, I mean, not in material. Well, both, but okay, great. I got one cloud sort of working here. Now I'm feeling like there's no, I'm forgetting the word when it goes from light to dark. It's not scale, but the other one. There's no gradient, and what I really want is quite a big gradient, because it needs to have depth. So let's come in again with the purple. And I might be about at 10 minutes here. Let's see. So about 15 minutes. I'm gonna make this one a bit shorter, and I will be adding this to a full video, so I can post the whole art process eventually with no breaks. But I am a fan of the 15 to 30 minute videos as a person who likes a shorter video attention span. But for other purposes, sort of like if you need something just on in the background that's not going to stop, then I am going to make a full video of this piece. Okay. So now I want to come around here and get that outline, like I was saying before, of the cloud, so that it looks like it's lit from behind. And the best way to do this would be to leave the paper blank, because you can see just here how much brighter it is when it's just blank paper. But since I wasn't really thinking about it, try my best to come in with the pencil. And that's nice, that's fine. It's got something. if I want it to be super bright, I can come in, not as bright as the paper, clean paper, but brighter. I could come in with some white paint after, and I do sometimes use an overlay of acrylic paint detail to give texture. I don't think I'll need to in this case, but the main problem I'm having with this cloud right now is that it needs more form in the middle here. So let's see if we can make another cloud within the cloud like this. Okay, nice. I like here is good. This one's coming along. We're getting the feeling of the cloud now. And that's where we're gonna leave it today. So catch you in the next video. Thanks, y'all. I'm gonna try to put in more color today. I am gonna use the mock-up because, well, you know, it's hard out here. I've been struggling personally to find enough time because I'm doing another full-time job at the moment, which, you know, I'm not supposed to admit all the time as an artist, but yep, I am working another full-time job. Have to get a little cash. The job is pretty intense, so sometimes I feel like I have time to do these videos, and sometimes I'm really pushing my luck. Oh, I need my smudge paper. Where is my smudge paper? This is not my smudge paper, but I can use this. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Okay, so I'm coming in here. I do think the mic's working because I'm picking up the paper sounds pretty well. I just want to come in here and make this dark. How would you say? I'm a little frustrated at this piece at the moment because I am feeling impatient. If I can anchor this. Whoop. Anchor down this table. If that had been a soft chalk pastel, like a stick, not a crayon, that would have broken in 17 pieces. But since it is a crayon, oops, we got lucky. So yeah, I'm frustrated because this is taking too long. And of course, too long is subjective, but I'm feeling like, why can't it just be finished? So try to mitigate that a little bit. Where are you, crayon? By reminding myself that this is my art. There's no deadline on it. It's not a grade I'm trying to finish. But yeah, there's a sort of built-in system of work that we, I think, pick up in our schools, in my country at least, which have a sort of pressure, or I picked that up, that sort of pressure around everything. When's it due, and can I get it done in time, finished in time? I think that comes a little bit from my own mind, my ADHD and other things I struggle with. Okay, so I don't know, I'm not gonna rush this, but I do want to be less precise. So the reason I use chalk, a lot of the reason, not the only reason, is because it does allow you freedom to be less precise, and even with the pen, I feel like I can accomplish some of that. Don't really need this actually yet. We're not really smudging. I just have to be careful because my setup's a little small today. I don't have my regular desk because I'm at a different location than my parents. So just doing my best with this little side table. This is fine. I just don't want this to get too dark. And obviously this is my person here, the wizard. And they're familiar. So I'll be a little more careful. This should stay bright. Yeah, I'll continue with orange here. For me, and I don't know about other artists, when I'm working on a specific piece like this, and usually I am working on just one at a time, I get very frustrated if anything else, I mean anything, has to be done during the day that isn't working on this. So like today I had like 8 full hours of other work, and the whole time I was just like fuming because in my mind there's no reason that I shouldn't be working on this, because this is obviously the most important thing, and that's how I think a lot of artists' brains work. And it does get us in trouble when we have to live and function in society, unless you're living full-time off your art, obviously, but still there are human, social things that we have to remember. Because every artist's dream is to just do their art all the time, but it's more of a, for me, it's like a bodily, like a visceral overtaking. Almost like I can't control my own mind. And then when I have to force it into other projects, it just seems so pointless. And obviously I know it's not, because I have to make money, but it almost makes it impossible to do the other tasks, which is absurd, because, you know, I should be able to see the logic in it, but there just isn't. I think for a lot of us, the logic just doesn't exist for that kind of obsession and dedication for a project, even down to the tiniest minutiae of said project would be constantly running in the back of my mind until I can, and in the front of my mind, until I can get back to making the project. So all that to say is I'm very happy to be able to work on this. This is being seen. I'm doing a kind of a late session today, but the light's pretty good. It's like a 6:30 at night. I know a lot of old masters that had, you know, that were also, as they were like ship merchants and ran lamp companies or whatever in the 1700s and stuff like that. They would, you know, get up at the crack of dawn earlier, to work on their art, and then they would have to do the rest of their day, obviously. But they had, you know, house servants and things, and they would do their work, and everyone would prepare their breakfast for them and their coffee, and all the house would be managed, and their children they wouldn't see or deal with except in a passing. I'm talking about men. I don't know about women, not much written about them, artists wise, in that age. But what I mean to say is that the dream, the idealized version of get up at the crack of dawn, do art, and then do the rest of your day is, I think, kind of beyond me, unless I'm literally functioning on jet lag, I guess, and have a natural rhythm for that. Otherwise, I'm tired. I'm too tired to make the getting up early to work worth the loss it takes its toll on for the rest of the day, and that's something that I personally struggle with a lot because of fatigue. I'm sure other people also wonder, oh God, why can't I, wake up early and do my art and then do the rest of the day, or do whatever you want to do, like do my woodwork or metalwork or my singing or music. Well, because we're fucking tired. We don't have servants, most of us, to also clean our house at night and take care of our meals. See, I was afraid this would happen. The blue and the yellow have mixed to become a bit green. I did want to avoid the green because of the potential apocalyptic nuclear wasteland vibes. Fuck. So a couple options. I could erase it, but that feels like admitting defeat, which obviously it isn't. And I'm being stubborn, but it does feel like, to me, admitting defeat. It is possible though. You can erase quite a lot of chalk, even if it's layered, and it'll just stain the paper. What I think I want to do instead is try putting more blue over this. See if it can eat up a bit of where we were getting in too much into the green there. Oh, I was just burning so much of this herb earlier. Not in the way you think, but as like a clearing the space, like saging, but it wasn't sage. It was so strong, and I think I put the burn on too hard because it pretty much burned the whole stick. It was like a big bundle of herbs, and it's really strong, which I like, but it's, take that into account if you sit right by it. But it's good for the mosquitoes that plague us in the summer here. I just have to leave this for a little bit because it's just annoying me. So let's move on. Maybe get my favorite blender out over here. This is that sort of purple color, and I want it to come in pretty strong. Yeah. See, sometimes these crayons work differently than the super soft sticks, and I don't actually like just blending them with my finger as much. I don't know, it's like becomes more muddled, but with an overlay, so sorry about this table, y'all. Do need to fix this somehow. With another pencil to blend, it kind of, I don't know, becomes more dynamic. Maybe just the texture of the crayon itself makes the finger blending less effective. Okay. I haven't tried sharpening these, but I don't know if they need it, because if you just use one side, it kind of and it works it down so that it's a bit like sharpens itself. These are kind of fucking great. Can't believe it took me this long to find these. I was really, really not searching new materials to the best of my ability. I saw these in the Papier Michel in X, and they did cost about $85, all these, which, you know, seems pretty intense for some crayons, but it's well worth it because these are my chosen medium. So, oh, this is looking so good. This is exactly what I need. Weird angle on this because of my stand here, but let's see if we can get over here. I'm really not used to doing this precise kind of coloring, but it's kind of cool. It's frustrating, but it challenges me in a good way. And why am I, you know, so pressed to finish quickly on these pieces? Honestly, I've always worked pretty quickly, or wanted to work pretty quickly on my art, and I think that's just because I have a bit of impatience, as all humans do. I want it to look good, and right now. It's losing a little texture. That's okay, but this is just something I'm learning about these crayons. I'm gonna have to come back in and do that in marker, maybe a paint marker. The person, I mean. Oh, maybe this is just the light. No, it's the purple one. Light blue purple. Ooh, I like that with the green. I do. I do very much like that with the green. Okay. It's pretty. It's lighter than my mock-up, but it's not particularly bad. I did want to bring more greens into this piece. Let's go water while we're in this thing. I want to see the mock-up. It's this. Got my colors here. Palette looking good. feel like you could use this palette for a room and make it super bright and lovely. Like a night sky room. Gotta get so many angles when you're a creator. The window light is doing something. Or it might be the HD. All right, so we need blue. Let's try this lighter blue here. And the water. Doesn't really match the clouds though. Maybe here. These marker lines are getting a little lost. So pin lines, excuse me. I might come in and trace those. Actually, let's just do the orange here. Not bad. The most important thing is that I want to keep some of the brightness to the water, so I will come in and erase part of this, I think, just to keep it bright. So let's continue. This is definitely a different medium than a soft chalk pastel. It just behaves in its very own way. If I was doing this with a chalk pastel, it would be immediately like inundated into the other color. But this is such a hard type of chalk. It just sort of does nothing unless you press super hard. So all right, enough of that vertical content. In the end, I think these small, well, I just have to work out how to make these go more quickly because the color should be the easiest part, not the most difficult. And so I'm wondering if I did make them bigger in scale with the soft chalk pastels work, or would they be too broad? I don't really recommend doing what I'm doing right now, which is just sort of cloaking all of your spaces. It kind of takes away that brightness that I was talking about with blank paper, but well. Could be worse. Let me see if I can find my eraser on these parts. maybe this. This is just sort of like a light sky blue. Maybe just fit it in here for some extra dreamy. We're losing the marker, but that's okay. Definitely come back to it. That's what it looks like. The blue. I wonder now, because I'm noticing my inclination to cover the paper completely, wondering if there might be some in-between way where I can maybe do like a partially colored pieces just to practice leaving that space, you know? Not immediately going in to fill every single line. It's okay, but something's not right, and I can't quite say what it is. I do know this needs to be blue. Well, I could hit this with watercolor to mix, but since I made this sketch all the way out to the edge, I can't. Because if I did, paper would not be taped down and it would bend and fold and dry the water, which is why you see watercolor artists taping their paper. And I do tape my chalks as well, usually, just for the stability of the paper. And sometimes I do put acrylic based paint on top, but okay, that's cool. I still feel that I'm losing a little bit of sharpness. Maybe that will come back with the outlining. Okay, I like this blank paper here. I'm just gonna try to smooth out the gradient into the bright paper. This is a really good thing to notice if you're painting. Okay, just try not overworking the paper as much as you can. See where that gets you. This really needs to pop behind the moon. It needs to have depth. These clouds as well. These are bright by the sunset and the moon there. Okay, very close now. I think I'm gonna pull some blue into these trees. Yeah, that'll be great. Of course, I'm tempted to, come in with brown for trunk and green for leaves, But since this is a dusk scene, that's not exactly the colors that they would be. They really would reflect a dusk light, making them different. This is cool, this is cool. I like this. The blue could come in here in this way, and that would make this paper really light up. But since I had such a trouble here with the green mix, I'm just not sure I want that. Maybe just a little bit at the top coming in, and we won't mess with it too much more. It's an interesting part of the process when you feel almost that elation that comes with finishing the piece, but you're not quite there, so you're really studying what about this looks unfinished to me, not to anyone else, not to the, regulations of Board of Artists at the Royal Academy or whoever, but to me, where am I missing definition? Where could my hillside be more a hill? This is great. Obviously easier if you have a reference photo, but sometimes not. I sometimes get to the very end here, or almost end, and sort of put aside, disregard the reference photo so that I can just feel that my image, my creation has its own wants and needs. And that inherently, in my making of it, it has changed from its reference photo, and that's good. And I should respect that by not needing it or wanting it to be exactly as pictured. Losing some stair definition here, but we can come back in with the marker. Haven't really studied rocks enough to make these just super rocky on my own, but I'm imagining that the tops here would be bright with the reflection, but maybe on the other side, perhaps they would be darker. We are almost there, you all, almost there. Getting very, very close to the end here. Just a little bit of problem areas that figure out how to rework, like how to give this texture without losing its cloud, how to make this part go away. And that's almost about it. How to define our trees here. Just do this outline for now. That's nice. I wonder sometimes if making art is all just definition, light and dark versus their opposites. How can one thing stand out from another? Just forms and shapes. Now, if I can get an eraser small enough to erase the figures, that'll be ideal. Keep their brightness. Good, y'all. It's almost there. We're just struggling without our eraser. Let's see if we can mash up this white yellow a little without it turning green. An eraser has appeared to me from the heavens. We're gonna erase over here. Make sure it doesn't have any other color or pencil on it. And then let's start with this part. You can see almost erasing in chalk is its own sort of form of smudging. And you can use that to your advantage when you mess it up, or just if you want to, do it that way. Just remember, you can always come back in here with whatever color you had before, but it'll be bright. And that's what we want, the brightness of the paper. To really, really, really show that it's the lightest portion. And it makes me think about the moon, because the moon is not uncolored, but that could be good in this case. Maybe we come around and erase some parts of the moon after, or just have to see how that goes. Now this is very bright, and I wonder if the yellow can help me get some definition in here. As if the cloud indeed was climbing up, billowing up as they do. Texture is good. Paper texture is good. It's chalk. We have an expectance of this rough texture look with chalk, which is so lovely. Oh, it's just so pretty. This one has a very nice look. So maybe yellow. And lay it back down with the softer yellow that's less mustardy. This up here, I think I want orange, kind of like this part. So let's bring the orange in this way. Can y'all see that? Sorry. Orange in up here. So it has a fade on it. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's make this definition here. Oh, yes, that's pretty. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. You can come in here with this. Gently. Such that these clouds will need to be outlined like this. All of them, eventually. A little too rambunctious there. Just come back in. That needs a blend. Smooth enough with the finger. Something's happening. Now I wonder if will the moon be outlined in orange or blue? Let's see. That's trash. So I guess blue. That looks like a trash fire. So we're gonna make it blue. Or we might need to make it really white. Let's try really white. So just blending up, away. Okay, cool, I like that. That's a good contrast. This is the moon color, so here, on the edge. So close to being finished. Carefully, carefully. That's nice. Textured for me, so let's try this. Okay, nice. Might try this. Adding this one, little depth and shadow. All right, y'all, it's pretty close. What else? See about you. Face got covered up. I will want to put some kind of color down on their cloak. And the windows. Windows will need to be bright. Now, what are we gonna do about this? I think that's gonna be for the next video. So we are pretty close here, y'all. Pretty close. All right, see you next time. Thanks. Hey y'all, I'm Avery, and this is the final part of Fantasy Landscape number 14. It's the last portion of color that I'm putting down. It's not too much more than the last one. Turned out really well. I love it. I love all my work, so that makes sense. It looks a little bit like the mock-up, but not too much, which is exactly what I'm going for. I will show the mock-up at the end next to the final piece, so just hang out for that. And thank you again for watching all these videos. Please subscribe to my channel. I love making art. I love sharing it with you. And I'd love to be able to do more videos and more art all the time. And I can only do that with your support. So please subscribe. And thank you so much. Let's get started. So last time we were talking about doing away with this here blue on the cloud. And I'm not opposed to that still. Let's see how it's gonna go. I was looking at these last night and thinking they're very close to being done. I think they just need a little bit more shading. And then they need colored in. Honestly, don't know if I want to color in the falcon. This is all basically good for me. I like where we have this stuff. The blue could be a little better in its outline. Take the pencils out. Out here, just the blue we were using. Like so. This could be a little bit more defined, actually. I might talk a little less today, as I am very tired. That's all right, we can just color together. One of the great things about art is that it can traverse many different states of mind and emotions. It's not so much must feel good to make art, and in fact is often the opposite. That's nice, I like it. If I were going to be this person, what color would my robes be? We want them to stand out but not be outside of the color palette. I like this maybe. No. okay. Not great though. Let's see about the falcon, maybe like this type of situation. These can be pretty subtle because the feathers in the reflection could be white, and that works. This is a color that I haven't used and could be nice. Like a deep green gold. No, I think it's better than mixing with a light yellow. It brings less green to the mix. Like. Alrighty, keep that one out here. Very, very close here. Very nice piece. This is too similar. Needs more texture. Same as here. Losing a little brightness in the hills, so I'm coming back in the eraser. Let's see what it does. Nice. Okay. Honestly, I don't hate this as much as I used to. But we're still gonna give it a go for the eraser, so. I'm not sure this is accomplishing what I want. I'm working paper too much. As can sometimes happen with the racing. Don't know, y'all. Might be stuck with it. Excuse me. Pardon me, y'all. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose today. Keep forgetting I'm on camera right now. pencils are breaking because they're getting small. Very close, y'all. Very close. We have touchdown. Lovely. That's it. Not gonna work on it anymore. I'm gonna keep it bright. This orange line is weird, so let's come in with the yellow. Better, just a little more shade here. Nice. Ooh, okay. On this thing, so this is weird. It says this. So let's get in here with something. Maybe the white. And we have a wrap. I'm not quite, something's going on in this fill, but I can't quite get it to follow me. Oh, that's better. All right. Cool outline here. And we need to throw in more color on here. Alrighty, I think that's it. We have a wrap on piece number 14. Just spray it so that's settled. Ta-da. Wow. Hey y'all, I'm Avery, and I just wanted to say thank you again for supporting my channel. I'm a little bit new to the YouTube scene and doing these videos, but I'm really enjoying it. I like sharing my art. I've shared my art on other social media platforms for almost a decade, and I'm just now getting my feet into YouTube. So thank you so much. I have many ways that you can follow all the socials, usually Avery Chess or Avery Chess Art, mostly Avery Chess. Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all of those. I also have Patreon where I drop digital downloads. And please subscribe to my channel. Yay! Awesome.
Is mine.